Boy, do we have a lot to talk about. What just happened in New York City is actually crazy. I have the actual video right here. If you guys don't know, United Healthcare CEO was literally just murked. Gotta watch my language here. By a gunman who had a silencer, and it looked like a hit. It looked like a hit. Not only this, ladies and gentlemen, but this is one of the main reasons why it's time to get out of New York, man. Leftists are actually celebrating this, saying that every CEO is now, every billionaire is now on notice. I told you guys things will begin to get crazy after the election. And as we're getting closer to Trump being inaugurated, things are about to get crazy. Targetings might start to happen, right? People are going to start acting out of character and start doing these types of things. This is just my opinion. But we got a lot to talk about because how is this possible that something like this can happen in New York? Make sure to smash the like button real quick. Make sure to smash the like button. Let me know where you guys are watching from. But just look, this is the United Healthcare CEO just walking, right? This is in Midtown Manhattan. This is in Manhattan. Now, let me ask you guys this real quick. What do you got? What is it about New York? What are New York gun laws? New York gun laws supposed to be the safest city in the world. You know, if you get caught with a gun, guns are illegal. I think if you get caught with a gun, you'll do a lot of time, probably like 4 or 5 years. I've had family members that have been, they're literally in jail right now for having a gun illegally. So this is just allowed to happen out here in these streets. Look at this. He starts to put the silencer on. This is like something out of a movie. With his back turned and bow, he just lets it go right there. We got a lot to talk about as far as this goes. We got to talk about Trump. We got to talk about New York City as a whole. But man, just take a look at this report. This is crazy.
Now, so there was a deadly shooting in Midtown Manhattan early this morning. And unfortunately, the CEO of United Healthcare is now dead. Alexis McAdams is on the scene, is just right near Fox News studios. Alexis, what do you know?
Hey, Dana. So this is all still developing. It only happened in the past couple of hours, but I just got off the phone with an NYPD source who tells me that this was not a random attack. Okay, so I'm going to show you where this all happened, setting this up for you right here in Midtown Manhattan. This is also, to lay this out, right, one of the busiest times to be in New York City in the entire year. We have the Rockefeller tree lighting later on tonight, so there's going to be massive crowds, and this is happening just blocks away. So on their left-hand side here, okay, in Midtown Manhattan, you can see the Hilton.
Well, that's literally, this is like the most important time in New York City right now where all the tourists go. They go downtown to go see the tree. This is like the most important time in New York City. It doesn't get more important than this.
That's where I'm told by police sources that the United Healthcare CEO was walking out this morning around 6:45, heading to a very important annual meeting here for the healthcare company when somebody was waiting for him, according to sources outside across the street, and shot him not once, but twice, once in the chest and once in his leg. Okay, so back here, we can kind of tell you this is all still developing here on the ground. The NYPD has a lot on their hands, like they always do, but especially right now during the Christmas season. So they're trying to figure out exactly what played out here. We're hearing they're going to hold a press conference here in the next hour or hour and a half, Dana, to try.
Yo, this is crazy. It's wild. Now, I did see this video pop up from this young lady, Shipwreck. She has a show called Shipwreck. And, bro, she starts to put the pieces together, man. Things start to get literally crazy.
By now, you've all heard that the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, was fatally shot in Manhattan. I believe that Brian Thompson was targeted. This was an assassination. But why? Well, I'm sure a lot of theories are going to come out over the next couple of days as what this guy was into. But one of the ones that's not really been talked about, and it's really hard to find now, obviously, because he was shot, was that United Healthcare and Brian Thompson, the CEO, they were all under investigation from the DOJ. DOJ is suing United Healthcare because they are trying to buy Amnodize, which is the giant home healthcare company. That's not why investors and people of power would be upset. The reason that they are upset is because United Healthcare knew that it was coming under investigation, and instead of calling its investors and the people that are invested in their company and letting them know, hey, this investigation is coming down the pipe, you probably should sell your stock, CEO Brian Thompson and Chief Accounting Officer Tom Ruse had sold all their stock off. Actually, a lawsuit from an unnamed defendant against Brian Thompson and United Healthcare as a whole for doing this exact thing and causing the plaintiff, who again is unnamed, to lose millions and millions of dollars. Saying that United Healthcare was aware of the DOJ investigation since at least October 2023, and instead of disclosing the material investigation to investors and the public, United Health considered more and sold more than $120 million of personally held United Healthcare shares. 4 months between learning about the DOJ investigation and the investigation becoming public, United Health chairman Stephen Hensley sold over $102 million of his personally held United Healthcare shares, and Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare, sold over 15 million of his personal shares, stating that they had purchased United Health common stock at an artificially inflated price during the class period and suffered damages as the result of violations of the federal securities laws alleged here. These stock sales and all of this investigation stuff actually happened in 2023, but the truth did not come out about it until February 27, 2024, when the Wall Street Journal reported that the DOJ had reopened its antitrust investigation into United Health. After the disclosure, the price of United Health stock declined by $27 per share, erasing nearly $25 billion in shareholder revenue in the first part of December. And the CEO of United Health, who made a ton of money off this whole deal by basically inflating and then dumping the stocks, is now dead. I'd be pretty pissed off too. I don't know that I'd go murderous, but I'd be pretty mad.
That's one way to look at it. Definitely one way to look at it.
The CEO of United Health was assassinated in Midtown Manhattan this morning, and this story is wild. Apparently, a manhunt is still underway. By the time you watch this, there will probably have been updates, and the story will have been concluded. But we're already seeing many on the left, and this is to be expected, saying things like billionaires are on notice. If you look at the history of United Health, it is very easy to find a motive for the assassination of this is the largest health insurance provider. Now,
billionaires are on notice. That was like a thing that people were posting earlier. Like whenever somebody of this caliber like passes away or dies, they're just like, oh, billionaires are on notice. Billionaires are on notice. Nah, it's crazy that it happened literally like in the street the way it did. I mean, there's a lot of theories about this, but for him to get murked literally like in the craziest, most busiest place, and like there's literally somebody right here, literally this person right here, they're just there. Like they're just on the phone chilling, and then this guy just starts to let go. Bow, bow. And this person legitimately starts to run. Look. So this guy obviously didn't care about a witness. He didn't care about this person. He just wanted to get the job done. So that was at the one shot. He's over there, and then he just goes next to him and just lets it go. And then that's it, just disappears just like that. This footage was literally brought in earlier. Somebody say he was a paid migrant. Well, I don't know, man. There from the looks of it, he was white. So he could have been a migrant from somewhere out of state. I mean, somewhere out of the country, but he's definitely a white looking male. And this was, let's see. Yeah, this is when they were trying to revive him, and they couldn't revive him because he was probably already dead. So he could have been from the United States of America. A lot of people are saying that it was just a paid hit, like something out of a movie, something crazy.
This guy, Brian Thompson, was the CEO of one arm of the company, United Health Group. So I don't know if United Health is necessarily the biggest, but United Health Group is. And this guy was one of their executives running one of their 4 divisions.
Yeah, so like obviously Brian Thompson, whatever he was into, you know, we can come up. There's going to be so many reasons why people say that he was killed or whatever. I think the biggest story for me here is how this was able to happen literally in New York City. Somebody said, why didn't he have a bodyguard? He was probably just out. Apparently, a lot of people said that he kept a low profile. That's what all the news are saying, that they kept a low profile, but this was able to happen. Look, we got a lot of things happening in the world of politics, right? We got the Daniel Penny case. New York is just unlivable right now. There's a lot of things that are happening in New York City that you get in trouble for, but legitimately we have migrants shooting at cops. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like literally migrants shooting at cops. Like that was a real thing. We had the migrant crisis overall. Now we got stuff like this happening in the Bronx. Stuff like this been happening for a long time where people are getting shot left and right. So yeah, man, this is one of the main reasons why I'm making a decision. Like how crazy would it be, right? If, and I'm not going to play the scenario, but the way people are reacting to this election, the way people are reacting to overall all of this is, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, call me crazy, but it's going to get to a point, aside from this certain situation, if they tried to murk Trump, you think they won't try to murk somebody that supports him? You think they won't try to murk you? Like you think that they're just, you know, it gets to a point where in these certain areas, Like, oh, you know, I don't know. Especially when people are tweeting out, oh, all billionaires are on notice and stuff like that. So, I mean, it gets to the point where you're just like, man, this city is it fixable? Can people fix it? Is it time to leave? Is it not time to leave? I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I just want to be like, bro, like, man, like people gonna start going crazy. Oh, you support Trump? Bro. Yeah, it's tough to defend this stuff nowadays. It really is. It really is. Somebody said you expect this stuff to, like, look, I think that you have, like, aside from that, right? You have the Trump situation, Trump assassination attempt, all these attempts. You got stuff like this happening in the street. It just shows you what this time and all these people are capable of doing in this world of politics and in the world of finance and the world of billionaires and millionaires and Trump supporters or not. I think people like this are the reason why. Take a listen to this.
I don't want to be bringing back waterboarding. I don't want to be a country that tortures people, especially if we're the kind of country that's going to be using the military against our own citizens.
Well, wait,
this kind of thing concerns me.
What do you mean use against our own citizens?
I'm talking about
you
sending.
Said blue states behave. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about sending the military into blue states to make them behave. Getting Gavin Newsom under control, getting JP Pritzker under control.
What are you
making
talking
sure?
About? What do you mean? Like sitting into the state capitol to commandeer the state government?
I mean, I hope not, but I'm definitely, he's definitely talked about that. I don't know why you're acting like you've never heard
the military
this
to suppress in the Black Lives Matter era those protests in the street.
He was there himself.
Actually,
I just make sure I understand your position.
So their position. Do you hear this though? This is what they're talking about on CNN. Like, this is the type of fear mongering that makes people act out. This is how it makes people act out. And by the way, Abby Phillips saying that Trump threatened the Black Lives Matter protests. Look, I was at those protests. Those protests were insane. They were literally burning stuff. They were breaking everything. Did you see what they did to Minnesota? They did to parts. They were looting. It was a lot of bad things going on. So for Trump to say, hey, yo, look, man, we're going to probably have to send the military in there because local authorities are not doing anything about it. They're just destroying property and doing all this crazy stuff. That makes a lot more sense than just to say that, oh, because they're protesting, Trump wants to send in the military. But it's these types of conversations that we're having in the United States of America, specifically in the mainstream media. You can see this woman, and Scott Jennings is literally like, whoa. Scott Jennings is like, wait a minute. Wants to use the military? Like, what are you talking about? What are you saying right now? Waterboarding people? Like, what are you talking about? This sounds ridiculous.
That you believe Donald Trump is going to use the military to set up effectively like coups in state capitals of states that he didn't win?
I think you're taking it a step or two.
No, she said
far.
Make blue states behave. And she also said round up immigrants. That's not true. Well, it's deport illegal immigrants.
Scott, I think you're just Scott, I don't know why you're acting. No.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Hold on. I mean, look. I think you're right. Let's be precise. Trump has wanted to use the military to do things domestically that actually the military is not allowed to do. I think that's the point that she's making.
Like what?
Yeah, this is not a valid point. It's not even a valid point at all. And one of the main reasons why I've heard Trump say he wants military assistance is because if they invaded the country, wouldn't you declare a state of emergency? And not only that, at the same time, they're making it seem like everything's good, that we don't need the extra help. Like, just look at the states. Look at Gavin Newsom saying that he wants to Trump-proof. He wants to stand in the way. He doesn't want to let Trump do his job. People legitimately voted for mass deportations. This is what the people voted for. A lot of majority of voters, right, that voted, 159 million, I'm not sure how many, voted for this to happen, but they want to stand in the way. This is why Trump said what he said. You don't have to agree with it, but that's why. Well, they're saying that, look at what they're saying, the type of hysteria.
Military is not allowed to do. I think that's the point that she's making.
Like what?
Like deport illegal immigrants. That is actually not a function of the military.
The military can absolutely be used to work with local officials to provide military resources, but working with other parts of the federal government and local officials. We already send the National Guard to the border.
Not against the will of the local officials or the will of the state government. We have a federalist government here.
The military is not supposed to take up arms against American citizens.
They're
Period.
not. You keep
And
saying
so-
that this is about illegal immigration. You all keep saying American citizens.
Well,
It's
how do
about
we
illegal
know whether the
immigration.
We did
people are
not-
illegal
you
or
just
not?
said he
Well,
wasn't-
when
We know after they're shot.
we have 1.6.
We know after they die.
That's
We
not
have
the point.
1.6 million people in this country
Scott,
who've
you're
already
on to
received
illegal immigration.
deportation
That's not
orders
the
from
point.
courts. They are
Hold
here
on.
illegally.
No, it's always back to illegal immigration with people who support Donald Trump. It's always
Yes.
back to illegal immigration.
People
But
are pissed
that's
about
That's what's crazy about all of this hysteria. Is that when you look at the clips from before, back in the day, people like Nancy Pelosi, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Obama, did you ever hear them talk about illegal immigration? I played one of those clips. I mean, they were you want to claim that this is a MAGA way, that it's a Trump way. Just look back at those clips, the way they used to say. They used to say, go learn English. We're going to deport you. The way they used to talk about illegal immigration back in those days, it's so crazy. Oh, I just received the payment. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you so much for your donation. Tammy Wickstrom sent a donation on PayPal. Thank you so much for your donation. But isn't it crazy the way that they used to talk about illegal immigration back in the day? Like Hillary Clinton, speaking of illegal immigration, about deporting people. Why? Like, it just switched. We were talking about the big switch. Hillary Clinton, immigration. Let me see if I can pop it up here. In 2008, listen to this. This is one of the craziest footages ever. Like, this is so crazy. The switch up is so real.
So I think we got to have tough conditions. Tell people to come out of the shadows. If they've committed a crime, deport them. No questions asked. They're gone. If they've been working and are law abiding, we should say, here are the conditions for you staying. You have to pay a stiff fine because you came here illegally. You have to pay back taxes, and you have to try to learn English, and you have to wait.
Wow, that's racist. What a racist. These are the same people trying to lecture Donald Trump on how he should do things. What a racist.
That's not the only thing that we're talking about here. We're talking about the American people. We're talking about taking up arms against them with the military that's supposed to be protecting them.
This is not right. You cannot say Donald Trump is sending the military to
We
round
didn't
up.
say
That's what he
said it.
said.
That is what he
That's
is
what he
saying,
said.
Scott.
That's not what I'm saying.
Totally false.
He said that.
Totally false.
That's what he said.
Scott, Trump.
We're
Trump
in the
has-
fever swamps, Abby.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
What is your dispute here? I'm not even really
Because they're
understanding
saying
it,
that he's sending the military to shoot or round up American citizens. Not
We did not
true.
say
No,
shoot.
I think
people,
the issue.
Scott.
The issue.
You said
Scott,
take. He just said take up
I
arms.
said he,
Scott, why are you
He literally said it.
acting like
actually, let
Trump
me
has
ask
not
Elliot
said
here.
this?
I mean,
look, I did say take up arms
Hold on,
because when
Solomon.
you send the army in, that's what they're there for.
Wow. That is actually liberal trash. And this is why, look, man. Anyways, another crazy thing that happened today. This is Joe Biden. This is the current president of the United States of America. During the African, they were meeting with African nations, if I'm not mistaken, during an event he was meeting the leaders of Africa. And this is the current president of the United States of America.
Of people, goods, and services, but will also promote shared prosperity and inclusive growth across the region. Internal consultations aiming at aligning this project with national priorities and other bilateral and regional commitments. In closing,
this is Gigi, everything's okay. This is not a fake picture. This is not a fake video. This is not a fake video. This is literally Joe Biden falling asleep.
allow me to reiterate Tanzania's commitment to regional integration and shared prosperity. We note the progress made on the development of the Lobito corridor and commend the visionary.
Yeah, so that's Joe Biden during the president's time in Africa, meeting with African leaders, and just totally falling asleep like it's nothing. Yeah, totally normal for him to fall asleep. Yeah, that's what the president's supposed to be doing out there. I think can we agree that he has had the worst presidency of all time? Like, he's the worst. It doesn't get any worse than having him be the president of the United States of America. And I remember when people used to defend this like no tomorrow. They used to defend that he was the best. He's one of the greatest. Remember, Nancy Pelosi said that he belongs in Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore. Anyways, let me give you guys an update. So remember how we spoke about yesterday, the DEA pick, because he didn't like what he said about pastors and Trump supporters. All right. So the DEA pick, we got an update. Trump has an update for us. Here's what Trump said. The Wall Street Journal is becoming more and more obnoxious and unreadable. Today's main headline is Trump's DEA pick pulls out in latest setback. What? With all that's happening in the world, this is their number one story of the day. Besides, he didn't pull out. I pulled him out. And this is what I told you guys. I figured Trump did this. Trump did it because of Trump supporters, because of you guys saying that this DEA pick is actually horrible. We don't like this guy. We don't like what he did to the pastors. We don't like how he behaved during COVID. So Trump's making it clear that he pulled him out because I did not like what he said to my pastors and other supporters. But more importantly, what's my latest setback? Question mark. Based. I just won the presidency of the United States of America. They haven't written a good story about me in years. Somebody over there ought to be look at what they're doing. The only one worse than them is stupid China-centric Forbes magazine. So wow, he's coming at this Forbes. So I told you guys, Trump is listening. He got his ear to the streets. He made the pick. Probably had a good relationship with them, but had to re-vet him. And literally, you guys were the reason why Trump pulled him back. Trump pulled him back, and he listened to the people. And also, we got another update. Pete Hegseth is another one of the people that. And there's the Pete Hegseth situation is actually crazier than I thought. I don't know if you guys been paying attention to Pete. A lot of stories have been coming out about him. Obviously, it's so crazy what the media does. So Pete Hegseth, crazy. He was blamed. There were stories about his past where even The View had to read legal notes about his past and about what he's been accused of, even though he's been pretty much proven innocent, hasn't been proven guilty. Another story that has come out is that now Fox News, people over at Fox, are legitimately saying that he has a drinking problem. People at Fox are legitimately making up stories saying that we're worried about his health and his drinking. Why don't they want this guy? Why don't they want him to be the Secretary of Defense? Why? Why?
It's been a wonderful process. As far as everything else, I had a chance to sit down with Megyn Kelly today for an hour. I refer you to that interview. She asked probably all the questions you guys would like to ask.
Will you commit to not drinking? Will you commit to not drinking on the job?
Will you commit to not drinking on the job? Look at the questions that they're asking them. And allegedly, they hacked Kash Patel. The Kash Patel stuff and Pete Hegseth stuff, we got to talk about it. Because, and maybe I'll do a different show about it. We got to talk about, apparently out of nowhere, Iran hacked Kash Patel. Out of nowhere, Pete Hegseth is a drinker. He has a drinking problem. Like, I'm telling you, man, this, and look at all the reporters following nonstop. But Trump did tell him something. He said, stay in it and fight. Stay in it and fight. Don't quit. Don't give up. Because apparently he's had a lot of problems trying to get approvals, but I'm getting reports that the approvals are getting right. So we're going to be talking about this story in the next show, probably in an hour or two. But man, things are getting kind of crazy for Trump's approvals. So we have madness in Manhattan, where United Health CEO is literally murked in the streets by a hitman with a silencer in front of everybody. We have, many conspiracies about what this could have been about. Is New York City going to actually get cleaned up? Ooh, this is what I wanted to show you guys. I did want to show you guys this. Maybe I'll show you guys on the next show. But man, Chicago, this woman in Chicago, Tom Homan, is Tom Homan going to have a chance to actually clean up Chicago and New York City and Los Angeles and all of Los Angeles? I mean, and all of California, excuse me. Yeah, did you guys see that video where the young lady, she just screaming like, yo, lock up Brandon Johnson. Brandon Johnson is terrible. So got a lot to talk about. and a lot. But once again, they're trying to protect illegal immigrants, something that the Democrats were actually against years ago. When you listen to their rhetoric, what changed is something that I'm still trying to figure out. There's a lot of conspiracies about what made them change their stances. When you hear someone like Hillary Clinton out loud saying, if you want to stay in this country, you need to learn English. Like, that's crazy to hear from people that don't have that stance anymore at all. So what is real, what is not? They needed the illegal. That's one of the illegal votes. Elon Musk basically saying that they want a one party rule. But apparently, all of a sudden now, Pete Hegseth is a drinker. He's a worst type of person. He's a drinker. He's an alcoholic. Kash Patel getting hacked by Iran. Oh, oh my God, we got to talk about this too. Todd Blanche, did you guys see Todd Blanche? Hold on, man. This one was even crazier. This one was crazier. This is another story we got to talk about. Todd Blanche, Trump's deputy attorney general pick, Todd Blanche, having full-blown lunch with Caitlin Collins of, look at this. They might be having a little drink too. This is Todd Blanche right here. This is Caitlin Collins of CNN, and they're just having a good old lunch together. Caitlin Collins, who's obviously very Trump deranged, speaking. So now we got to watch out for another story. Now she's about to James O'Keefe situation right here. Caitlin Collins. So he's just having lunch with her, and I guess the media spotted them out, and they were posting this story. So I have a feeling, and I could be wrong here, cheers, that there's going to be some of Trump's nominations that are going to get pulled back by Trump, because Trump is just picking people that he wants to put out there, he wants to trust. But we'll see, man. We'll see exactly what Trump's going to do about a lot of these picks, because trust me, they can get fired real quick before they're even hired. Something to be on the lookout for, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this version of the news. If you're in New York City, pray. People are getting out of hand out there. Assassins running the streets like it's no tomorrow. We'll see. See you guys on the next one.